Hello guys, Ricardo here from RDM Pizza. Today I'm going to be training you on how to receive, defrost, stretch and cook your RDM snap frozen dough balls all in the one process. So if you ever get stuck in the future or you need to retrain your staff, always come back to this video. This video will give you a step-by-step on how to of the RDM snap frozen dough balls. Okay, so step one, you've ordered your dough balls, you've received them. Let's say it's Monday, all right? So you got your box of dough balls. They're all gonna be nice and hard and frozen, right? So basically open your box and start traying up all your dough balls. Now, the trays that I'm using here suit an underbar fridge. So this tray here will suit 12 dough balls. So you'll just get all the dough balls, you pop them in the tray, right? Keep them nicely spaced apart, because if you bring them too close together, when they do defrost, they tend to want to stick together. So keep them nicely separated. So like that, they're gonna have their own space to defrost. Once you tray it up, get some warm water, and all you need to do is just spray warm water on top of the dough. Okay, get your next tray, put it on top, repeat the process. There is two methods of using the RDM dough. Now these are very important. If you're short for space, what we do recommend is after service, let's just say it's a Tuesday night, you've just finished service, you need to get the next round of dough balls ready for the next day. So let's use 10 p.m. as an example. You'll get your dough, you'll repeat this process. Get your dough, put it in the trays, spray the water on top of the dough, then cover it with another tray. Make sure the dough is always covered. Leave it out overnight, go home, come back the next morning, say 9, 10 a.m., that dough will be ready to go then. So all you need to do then is put the dough back into the cool room and use it straight from the cool room. That's method A. Method B is, we use Monday as an example. I've defrosted my dough, I've put it in the trays. Now, that dough there is going to take a minimum of 24 hours just to defrost. Then the dough will require another 24 to 48 hours to proof. Right, so the best way to see when your dough is ready to go, you'll see these little black markings on the dough. That is the dough basically talking to you. That's the dough saying, I'm ready, use me, I'm bang on. And you can use the dough straight from the cool room at that point. The more you let the dough sit in the cool room, the more days that go by, the more of a Napoli style pizza you're gonna have, because the more aeration you're gonna have in the dough. So it depends on what the result you're trying to achieve. Obviously, it comes down to the cooking temperatures and times and the dough fermentation. But if you want the Napoli style, the big edges, the freckles, the whole lot, I would recommend defrosting dough on a Monday and not using it until the Wednesday night service, okay? But if you're unsure, please always reach out to us, because we're always gonna be here to help you. Okay, so now it's been 72 hours, right? So Monday's dough that I defrosted is now Wednesday afternoon, okay? So we've got that 3-day leeway. That dough is ready to use now. So it's nice and soft, okay? It's got a nice bit of stick to it. So the purpose of the water on top of the dough is what we call softening the cap, right? Because the dough balls go through a blast freezing process, right? The water helps them be nice, soft and sticky, just so you don't have any crusting on top of the dough, right? So essentially now you're ready to go. So get yourself some flour. The more flour, the better. Okay, so don't be shy on the flour, right? You want to be sprinkling the flour over the dough, right? This stops your hand and your scraper from sticking to the dough. Now, when you go get the dough balls out, you want to be cutting them out individually. So where they're joining on to the next dough ball, cut it out so you're not stretching and pulling that other dough ball with you. Okay, so the process that you want to be going for is you want to be going underneath the dough first, giving it a little bit of a lift. Then use your left hand to support the dough, and then go back and finish scraping the dough. Then with the flour on top of the dough, it helps you from sticking to your hand. So you're not going to have that dough sticking to your hand. Then what you want to do is you want to get a amount of flour. Like I said, the more flour, the better. So don't be shy on using flour. You want to really coat that dough in flour, right? So don't squeeze the dough, just work it gently, okay? This dough is very, very soft. This dough will work with you. It won't work against you. So you don't have to be using much effort with the dough, okay? Now that we've got this process, I'm going to show you how to stretch the dough and how to move your hands in the right positions to make your pizza the desired crust and size. So there's two sides to the dough. You've got the top and you've got the bottom. What you want to do is you want to be placing the dough with the top facing upwards, okay? Which is basically the same as it's facing in the tray. Now, the best way to explain on how to stretch this is I want you to think of the dough as a clock. You've got 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, okay? What you want to be doing is getting your 2 or 3 fingers and setting it underneath 12 o'clock, right? Leaving about 1.5 centimeters of crust, right? Or you can use 4 fingers, say, right? You want to go underneath 12. Now you want to be making your way down to 6, but not straight. The way I want you to be holding your fingers is more of an angle, so like a bounce, okay? So you're going to go down to 6 o'clock, finish just before 6, then back around to 12 o'clock. Okay, so basically right now we're going to be lining all our edges. So that's exactly what we're doing. Now as you can see, when you let the dough defrost and you let the dough proof in the time that we tell you, you'll see that the dough actually just stretches by itself. So like that's a 12-inch screen, right? And if I put that on top of the dough that I've just softly touched, I'm almost at 12 inches. So therefore you don't have to do much work with this dough. You literally have to get your edge marked out, okay? Now the next process, after we've gotten our edge marked out, right, is that you just flatten it a little bit with your hands. Okay, so just keep pushing down and flatten it with your hands. Okay, now the dough is now at 12 inches. So all we have to do now is get the dough from here on the bench to the pan. Very simple. Okay, you never want to be pointing upwards. Never point upwards with your fingers. Always flat palm. Okay, so dough goes on the flat palm. Okay, and then again. So hold your hand nice and open, nice and flat, and then just flick the dough from one hand to another. That lets the flour drop. Now the back of your hand is very important. That's what holds the dough up in the air. Okay, so I'm going to hold it with my left and my right, just on my palm. But my fingers are facing downwards. If my fingers are facing up, there's a chance that you're going to put a hole through the dough. So always keep your fingers facing down and just rest it. From that point there, right, we're going to go down on the pan. So we put the first part down first, right, which we call the bum, and then you follow it through with the head. Okay, pat it out. All right, make it the same size as the pan. Okay, adjust it to that size. And that's the dough. If the dough, for example, is a little bit cold and it's a little bit hard, I will show you now on how to actually spin the dough on the bench. So again, we're going to go from 12 down to 6 and then back around to 12. At this point here, let's just say your dough was a bit hard, you forgot to take it out of the fridge and it's a bit sturdy, right? We're going to pick up the dough with our left hand, we're going to recollect our flour, put the dough back down, upside down. This next motion, basically all it is that you're going to spin the dough with one hand. This tells you how much pressure to apply on the dough, okay? So that is telling your brain, okay, I need to apply this much pressure. Now what this hand here does, it follows it. So that hand's going to turn, I'm going to follow with this hand. But as I follow, I'm going to have a little stretch between my fingers. So the stretch doesn't happen on the palm, it only happens between the 2 fingertips. Okay, just like so. Now, very common problem. A lot of people apply pressure here on the palm, in the middle. Now, when you look at a pizza, right, the middle is your triangle. So if you're applying too much pressure in the middle, you're going to thin out the pizza too much in the middle. So always keep in mind, as you're stretching, the pressure you need to be applying is on the outskirts of your hands and around your fingertips. Try to keep your palm, your inner palm, off the center of the pizza. So that's exactly the same process as that, right? So now I would pick it up, I'll take the flour off, up on the back of my hand, and then I'll be placing it onto the tray. Okay, so now that we've got the dough stretched, it's been on the pan, okay, we're gonna start making our pizza. So let's just say we get an order for, I'll make a capricciosa, okay? Ham, mushroom and olives. So straight in the middle. Now, a lot of people don't realize how important the use of a good spoon is. So the scoop straight in the middle, right, allows you to go right around and around and around, using up all the edges of the spoon. Okay, you're gonna go right around, and then use the tip. And then the tip of the spoon is what gives you that beautiful outline of the sauce. Okay, when I was taught how to make pizzas, I was always taught about the 3 circles. The three circles are very, very important. It identifies each level of the pizza. So you've got your crust line, you've got your sauce and cheese line, and then you've got your ingredients line. That's how I've been taught, and I've always been able to make pizzas look exactly identical every single time. Okay, so then we've got our cheese. Cheese goes on. Okay, a nice dressing on the bottom. We're going to do a capricciosa, right? So ham, mushroom and olives. So mushrooms first. Followed by olives. Okay, and then I prefer to use the shaved ham, and what I do, I break it up. I break it up on the pizza, so when it cooks, it burns a little bit, but then it gives you that nice 3D effect on top of the pizza. All right, and then maybe just a sprinkle on top. That will just set it all in. Okay. All right, so we've just topped it, and we're going to be running it through the Moretti T64E oven. Now, a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize that RDM dough pizza bases, our products are a very fast baking product. They don't like to be held in an oven for 6 to 7 minutes. They want hot, they want quick. They want to rise straight away. That yeast wants heat, right? So the setting I've got this oven on at the moment is 320 degrees on the top, 315 degrees on the bottom, with a 3 minutes and 20-second pass through. Okay, so because you've got your perforated tray, pizza straight on the tray, straight in, and let it go straight through. Okay, so now the pizza's coming out of the oven. As you can see, when using the RDM dough balls and using it at the right time, letting the fermentation take place. So whether it's the overnight fermentation or the 3-day fermentation, this one, for instance, is that three-day one. So, you know, we've got that nice popping edge. We're basically getting wood-fired pizzas out of conveyor ovens, and that's what's set RDM apart. You know, our dough doesn't have any preservatives, no additives. It's slow fermented, and it's all made from a mother yeast. So this is the beauty you get out of an RDM product. And we're here each step of the way with you, to train you, to guide you, because your success is our success. So I'm going to finish off this pizza now. So we're going to cut it up. Okay. A little bit of oregano on top. Oregano is a very nice complement to every pizza. Regardless of the flavor of the pizza, oregano complements your pizzas really nicely. All right, a bit of fresh basil on top. All right, and some extra virgin olive oil. Okay, and there you have it. So from step 1 on how to defrost the RDM snap frozen dough balls, to how to stretch the dough, cooking the dough, your temperatures, and then your finished product coming straight out of the oven. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, my team is available for you. So if you have any questions on how to defrost or anything like that, always first refer back to this video, because the answer should be in this video. But if you're still not sure, always reach out to us. We're here to help you. Thank you guys, and like what we say at RDM, buon appetito.